All right, let's do a quick mic check here. Okay, seems like it's working all right. Cool. All righty. I can't see my controls. That's not okay. There we go. All righty. Face cam, why you do this to me all the time? Okay. Looks like everything's running. Great. All right. All right. Only thing I didn't have time to do is put my palette up, but I messed around a bunch with settings, and hopefully I have even better focus to now on the painting because I watched some of my streams and I felt like the focus could be a little better. Um, Turned off the autofocus, which was a bit of a problem because it was hunting around. So I turned that off. And we'll see. Manual focus was a problem, but I think I fixed the problem and I think it should be better now. I'm slowly learning photography. It'll be funny if eventually I end up being a photographer after learning to paint. Of course, the two do go hand in hand, so I think that there is some definite overlap between the two. And I think getting into photography and being a better painter, like I said, not only go hand in hand, but I think the two can help each other, especially for getting good reference photos, which is generally where my head is at with it, but also filming, getting sharper, better stuff for stream, and so on. Anyways. Oh, the one thing I wanted to do, almost forgot about this. I wanted to pump up the lightness just a little here. Because um, okay, this doesn't seem to be doing anything. Why? Huh, that's weird. Hey Zan, welcome. How you doing? Okay, these are awful. I'm doing the wrong thing. Never mind. All right, it's going to stay like this. Sorry, I was trying to make things better and, wasn't. How are you doing today? So, I've been messing around with, I said this earlier, I don't know if you were here for it. I'm messing around with my camera and I'm trying to get the focus to be better because I watched one of my streams and it was um, a little out of focus with all the hunting that it was doing. The autofocus. So I turned autofocus off and we'll see if I can keep everything in focus manually. All right. Everything should be dry. Yeah. All right, cool. Camera, why are you going into the corner like that? Showing all my messy boxes back there. Why? All right, I'm just going to oil out real quick. I'm almost out of my first tube of oleo gel. Luckily, I already anticipated this and already have another tube ready to go. But yeah, this is going to be the last stream until after I get back from my trip. So no stream tomorrow, unfortunately. And then, yeah, no streams next week at all, basically. Or next weekend either. Well, I might do some like shorts or something, or I might do something on Instagram. I don't know. But it's not going to be my focus as I'm going to be at the Portrait Society convention, and I don't know what I'll have time for. We'll see. What is the obsession with my desktop easel and a few boxes I have there? I don't understand. All right. Sorry, I thought I was sure it would be everything would still be uh, pliable, but apparently it dried out. Not super dry, but too dry to use. Dan says, Liad, I'm okay. Going to try out new mixed medium paper. Very cool. Working on a screen cap of background people from Landscape Artist of the Year. Nice. That sounds like a lot of fun. I hope, you know, hope the paper is good. Are you treating the paper, or are you sealing it? I mean, are you using, medium to seal it of any kind, gesso or anything like that? Or are you going raw on the paper? Oh, that noise is so unpleasant. Alrighty. This camera is starting to annoy me today. All right, hopefully it shapes up. All right, so let's do some assessing as far as where things are with this painting. Um, I don't do this enough when I paint on my own, and I think it's very beneficial to do. To take a minute to assess where the painting's at, things I need to work on, things I need to fix, not fix, just bring to a finish. Not everything's about fixing. Some things is just about bringing it to a finish. So, and sometimes verbalizing these things is very beneficial. So I'm going to try and do that uh, you know, out loud as I think through this stuff right now. Okay. So this is a cast shadow here on her arm, and I need to be careful not to merge all of these things together because then it makes her arm just look a lot thinner. So even though that's kind of how it looks in the reference, it also makes her hand look a little weird. So I need to fix that. This hand needs work. Her knuckle is like right around there. That's where her finger comes out. It's all behind her other hand, but I need to adjust that. I really like this little fold here. This part and this part need some work. These folds as well. This needs some work. There's more of a cast shadow here. This needs to lighten up. This needs to darken up. Her hair is right out over here behind her, behind her arm. Need to put that in more. It's kind of there, but it needs to like come in. And that's the type of stuff that usually is towards the end because it overlaps. Same thing with her hair over here. Her neck needs a little bit of work, but not a lot. Just actually, that might wait till the end. Her jawline does, her whole face still needs some work. Some stuff here on the hair also needs just some clarification. It's all there, except for this right here. This needs to change, but not a big deal. This shadow needs some unification, we'll say that. Moving over here, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to hit these areas with some thick impasto for like the highlights. So I probably need to bring some of it down and flatten it a little so I can have those highlights like stack on top of it. Toes need some work. The rest of the foot is okay. It's not supposed to be in focus. Maybe smooth that out a little, that edge a little. This foot needs a little bit of shaping more, and the toes especially. The shadow area here also needs kind of the same thing as here. Like I probably need to darken it a bit so that I can hit it with some of those impasto marks. And then the pillow, that's too strong right there. It needs to be a little more gradual. And maybe just some unification and then go in and put in those folds because I feel like that's hurting it. And this edge right here needs some work for the edge of the, not edge of the bed, but giving it like a flat area. Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't know that I'll be able to get all of that done today, but it's good to think through it. I guess the hand also needs some work. Yeah, the hand definitely needs some clarification, but it's not like crazy. It's not finished, but it's also not crazy. That could probably wait towards the end. Anyways, let's read what people are saying. Zan is talking about the paper, and Zan is using it raw, but I don't use oils, so well, except for oil pastels. Wait, so you're doing acrylic, or what is it? And then also Zan says, actually I went to a real live art store yesterday. Nice, Blick in Seattle. Very cool. I like Blick. When I lived in LA, I used to go to Blick. Now that I'm in Texas, it's Jerry's. They don't have Blick here. Jerry's is also really good. I like Jerry's too. But only got 3. So you went to a live store, but only got 3 things. Wait, so for the first time in so many years was hard? Oh, was it hard to not buy everything? Is that what you mean? I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. Yeah, I'm going to the Portrait Society thing next week. And my understanding is they have vendors there. So I might be able to buy all kinds of paint stuff, but I'm going to have to not go crazy. There is one thing I'm hoping to buy while I'm there because I can't seem to find it online. Well, online at any store I normally shop. I'm sure it's online somewhere. Um, but it's the Miracle Medium. I want to buy that and try it out, see if I like it. I don't know about bringing it back with me exactly how I'm going to handle that. We'll see. I am flying, and flying with stuff can be um, difficult sometimes. So we'll see. Yeah, hard not to buy all the things. Absolutely. I, I, I feel that. You're going to do it as a gouache sketch on this paper. Okay, that should be fine. Gouache is very gouache is very good on a lot of surfaces. I mean, it's water, so that can warp the paper, but otherwise, yeah, it's very good. Um, what kind of gouache, if you don't mind me asking? Because the reason I'm asking is because certain gouaches you need to add a lot more water to, and that can make it more like watercolor, and that can mess up paper faster. Hold on just a second. Hey Des, welcome. Better late than never. Are you referring to yourself? Because you're not late, if that's what you're referring to. If you're referring to me, I don't know what you're talking about. Des says it's me, chaos around here like usual. It's no problem. Zan says the Portrait Society thing, I'm looking forward to hearing about it afterwards. Absolutely. Um, I'm looking forward to telling you about it. Um, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But like I said earlier, and I'll say it a few more times, no streams next week or next weekend, and probably and not Monday the following week. I have to see. And this is putting me into a bit of a crunch with work as well, so we'll see the following week when I can start streaming again. I'll have to wait and see. I will definitely post about it and I will update everybody on it. I just can't, I don't know right now. It kind of depends on where things stand when I leave. But yeah. Like I said, I might do, I'm expecting to be slammed busy the whole time I'm there. However, if I'm not for some reason and I have some downtime, I might do like a a short stream on my phone. I will only have my phone with me, so it'll be like an Instagram live or something uh, of that nature. Hey, Julie, welcome. Good evening. Good evening to you too. Dan says, I'm using a few different brands from Arteza and Winsor Newton. You sometimes wash in with a translucent underpainting though, so we'll see how flat it stays or not. The paper that you're using, yeah, absolutely. Well, as long as you're using, so the big thing is, as long as you're using a tubed gouache, um, you can cut back on the washes and use the paint straight out of the tube. You should be able to manage it. Um, you know, the problem is when you're using panned gouache colors, you have to use a lot more water, and then it suffers when the paper is too thin to handle it. So yeah, well, we'll see how things go at the convention. But you can see the um, winners. They have like a competition, and you can see the winners online if anyone's interested. They're fantastic paintings, of course. You wouldn't expect anything else. I look forward. I think all of the winning paintings are going to be there in person, which I'm looking forward to seeing in person. That is way too bright, but we'll see. I think I'll knock that down a bit. But I'm trying to carve out the shapes. So sometimes the way I paint, at least, I do a lot of back and forth. You know, I'll go in, do some changes, knowing that I'm going to be undoing those changes, but not 100%. Like I'll be undoing 80% of it. And that, 20 that stays is what I actually want. But sometimes you just can't do that 20 straight, like make that change, or at least I can't. I don't know if that makes sense, but in my head that made sense. The way I expressed that, but yeah. And sometimes I'm just messing up, so then I have to fix it. There is that too. I'm not going to say that every mistake I make is on purpose. Nah, I mess up all the time. I just consider it part of the process and I don't worry about it. How are your paintings going, Des? Des is working on a really cool series for a charity. So, really cool stuff. When you have a website or something for it, Des, when you have, links to the auction and everything, please share it. I think it's a cool idea. They're doing, it's a charity for a, um, I'm not going to remember it exactly. It's I don't know, remember if it's a drug rehab center or something along those lines. They help people with addiction issues, and that much I know. And it's a series of the people getting help and the people helping. And it's a charity to raise money for the location, which I think is fantastic. All of this sounds amazing. So my blue is dry, but inside there's just a little bit of wet paint. And because this is phthalo blue, and I'm not making a blue color, but rather a greenish color, just that little bit is more than enough. Zan, something about the artiso gouache. Um, Before you use it, if you've never used it before, if you have used it before, then you know the answer to this already. I know some of them are acrylic gouache and not regular gouache. I don't know if they have regular gouache or not, so just double check that. because I'm sure it will work fine, but if you expect to be able to reactivate it, it won't. Excuse me for just a second. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Wasn't even worth putting the BRB sign up. Hi, Misu. We have a cat friend. It's not Dresden, it's Misu. Hey, Misu. Oh, baby girl. I know, you're such an angry little girl. She is a very vocal girl. If she is unhappy about anything in the slightest, she will let me know. Watch, she'll hiss. But even though she's angry, even though she growls and hisses at me, she's a sweetheart and doesn't really mean it. Isn't that right, little girl? She never scratches on purpose either, regardless of all the growling and hissing. She's such a silly girl. And what's the funniest part about it is that, like, I am her person. Like, she literally sleeps on me all the time. And yet, the slightest little thing, and she's hissing and growling and groaning. Need new gloves. Mhm. Dan says, yeah, these Arteza gouache paints are regular. You have some Turner acrylic gouache, which you also really enjoy. You like the Arteza for sketch level painting. It's decent for the money. Uh, I haven't heard anything about them, you know, either way kind of thing. The what's it called? The thing about the acrylic gouache is, it uh, it's basically acrylic paint that has a matte look to it. Dan says I've been painting with gouache since the 90s, when the markers were our main tool for coloring books, for comic book coloring, sorry, pre-Photoshop. Okay, so you know all this stuff already. But for the people who don't, acrylic gouache is basically acrylic paint with a matte um, finish to it that looks like gouache. And acrylic gouache has its advantages and disadvantages because if it's acrylic, it can't reactivate, which is a negative, but also a positive. Just depends on your use cases. Anyways. That says my sister and I are going to take a trip to the city 3 hours away to the closest IKEA and also a really good art supply store. I'm compiling a list. That's awesome. What is it you need? And Julie says, Sam, I didn't know you were a colorist. My kid's dad is a colorist. Tough job. Yeah, I didn't know you were a colorist either. I didn't realize that's what you were saying, but yeah. I used to before Photoshop when I was a kid and I was trying to match the coloring of comic books. I tried using watercolor pencils. Um, that's not the way. You know that, but I'm just saying, like as a kid, I didn't know that, and I was trying, and it did not. I could not match comic book coloring to save my life. But to be fair, at that point, they actually professionally were using Photoshop, but I didn't have access to Photoshop, so I was at a serious disadvantage. Julie asks, "How old are you, Leon? If I may ask, you may ask, but I'm gonna stretch this out because I have the time. So, how old do you think I am?" I figure I might as well stretch it out since I have a whole stream. Des says, I'd say about 35. Okay, okay, good guess. Julie says, man, Photoshop when you were a kid just made my hair grayer, but I guess I should get used to it. Yeah. Yep, Julie says 35 as well. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give anyone else want to guess? Last chance before I ruin it and ruin the guessing options. All right. Let's see. What year is it? 2024? Uh, I will turn. Well, I'll just say what I am right now. I'm 43. So thank you all. I appreciate it. Julie says, and you are an expat, and I often find it makes it more difficult to guess. No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. I will be I will be 44 in August. Thank you. I appreciate that, Julie. That made my day. Yeah. Dan says, LOL, when I first started coloring, I bought in some I brought in some example pages in watercolor, and the owner of the biz uh, swore, practically threw them away. Steep learning curve. That is funny and fucked up. Yeah. You know, I'm sure it's a great story. I'm sure at the time that was really fucked up, and but that's pretty funny now. I try to keep that in mind now when fucked up things happen to me. I try and like put as something bad happens to me, I try and always remember this is going to be a really funny story later on. And the more I can internalize that, the sooner it'll be a funny story. Julie says lots of colorist comics uh, artists use watercolor in French industry. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with um, the European or French comics. I'm more of like the superhero comics, but I do have some. And when I was a kid, I didn't appreciate it the way I do now. Now I really love a lot of those, like a lot of those different types of, you know, approaches to making comics. I feel like the comic industry, um, I don't know. I have such an appreciation for good inkers, and not to say that there aren't good inkers, but anymore, because there are. But what's it called? Comic book pencilers need to give inkers the space to really shine, and they don't anymore. Most of them, at least. But yeah, it's comics is such a tough industry, honestly. Um, I don't know if everybody knows this, but my goal when I moved back to America was to be in the comic book industry, and I did work in um, indie comics in LA for years, or I tried to for years, and I did a few here and there. Might be a more accurate way of phrasing it, but yeah. So I have a lot of I don't want to say a lot of experience in comics. I have some experience in comics, and I have a lot of friends who work in comics. So I know a lot of the like ins and out and nitty gritty of some of this stuff, but that's all like American comics. It's very specific to that group, I would say. Then says, haha, they used to use airbrush a lot. Here in the States, anyways, that's pretty much over when I started. Blue line overlays for skit masks. Yeah. Julie says, I don't know over there, but here it is tough to live from this job. Only 40 or so people are considered colorists tax wise. In France, everyone has another job. And Zan says, Liad, your approach to effed up situation is wisdom. Thanks. I try, um, another thing I've always, not always, but one thing I've learned over the years, and I'm trying to really internalize too, is like how can I put this? Anytime something happens, I try and think about like there's a lot of messed up things that happen, throughout our lives. Like, even just like, oh, I broke something and I have to replace it, or, my car has issues or whatever. I'll tell you what, my car once had major issues and I had to do like major repairs on it. It was a lot of money for me at the time. I can't say that I miss that money now. You know what I mean? Like it's been, over 10 years since that happened. So I try and think about like, will any of this actually affect me 5, 10 years from now? If not, it's probably not a big deal at all. And that's also something I've tried to internalize because I personally have not been good about those things in the past. Like I have struggled with a lot of those issues. Like things would happen and it would really stress me out and ruin my it'd feel like it was ruining my life. And it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, don't get me wrong, things can happen that are a big deal. I'm not trying to take away from that, but I know personally I make it worse than it needs to be. Not everybody does. You all are lucky, whoever you are. I just remember all these stories. Like I was in the military, and I am not built for the military, and I hated it so much. Um, but I have a lot of really funny stories from it now, So bright side, right? Like silver lining. It makes for funny stories. Like I can tell some I can tell you some stories, like even some silly things from boot camp that happened. And these are such silly things. Like nothing happened. My boot camp was a cakewalk with a few exceptions. Um, it didn't feel like it at the time, but in retrospect, it was. Well, sort of. So when I went into the military, I got sick almost instantly. And I was basically sick throughout all of boot camp. And then when I went in for like my specialized training, I was also sick. So a month of boot camp and then 3 or 3.5 months or whatever of training. And I kid you not, on the last day, as I'm being discharged to go to my wherever I was serving, one of the things you would do is you'd go and get your paperwork from like the doctor at the base. And the doctor was like, "Oh, by the way, we got your results back." Because I'd gone in for multiple tests because I was so sick and feeling so bad. And they're like, "Yeah, the second results that you got back, like finally, right? It looks like your mono has finally passed." So I did possibly boot camp and all of my training with mono the whole time, which is why I was so sick and feeling like I was just like dying the whole time. And I'm like 90% sure I passed it on to at least one, if not like a few people, because it's very contagious. Uh, yeah, that was just ridiculous. I mean, what you gonna do now? Julie says, "Yeah, I can't believe they let anyone around you with that. They're not supposed to. Technically, if you have mono, this is this is in the Israeli military at the time, but if you have mono, they automatically send you home for 3 months. They messed up and they didn't catch it, even though the results cleared it. So they just flat out messed up, but they were not supposed to let me be around anybody. I was supposed to have automatically 3 months at home to get over it. Minimum, because if you get it, you can often get more time afterwards as well because of um, how contagious it is. Uh, Des says, "My daughter got it when she was arriving at university. Wouldn't let her join clubs and stuff. She was so terribly ill." Yeah. Yeah, no, it sucks. Mono sucks. If you've already had mono, my understanding, and I'm not a doctor, so like, you know, but my understanding is you have to be very careful about getting it a second time because it can like develop something really bad uh, the second time around. So just FYI, if anyone didn't know, look it up. I'm not a doctor, but that was my understanding from what I read online. Sand says, "Oofs, mono." Yeah. 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 What you gonna do, right? Julie says, I didn't know you could have it another time. Scary. Yeah. I was hoping it was one of those things that made you immune to it, but apparently it doesn't. And it can be very dangerous the second time around for whatever reason. I don't know how it works. I wish it worked that way. You got sick once and then you were immune forever for whatever that was. That'd be fucking awesome. So I'll have another funny. This one's silly. It's not a big deal. I mean, none of my stories are a big deal, but I have a bunch of military stories. They're all silly stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like when I got to my base, when you get, they do like little hazing stuff, very, very minor. We were not like an nothing insane. No one gets injured. We didn't do any of that stuff. Um, but um, we did when I hold on a second. Des says back in early childhood, we'd have chicken pox parties. One kid would get it, and the parents would host sleepovers, and everyone would get it, preferably before school age, so you became immune. Yeah, but my understanding is that, oh wait, Des says you wouldn't get it when you went to school. Right. My understanding though is now what is it, shingles though, or like what you can react it. It's like if you had chicken pox, you can get shingles. I don't know. Sounds horrible. I have no idea. But yeah, when one of the new people showed up at our base, we told him that he had to water all the plants in the office, and so he did it, and they were all plastic with styrofoam on the bottom. So I don't know what he was thinking, but he did it anyways. And yeah, that was funny. Nowadays they have vaccine for chickenpox, so that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I've heard horrible hazing stories from other people. Not like just on TV and stuff like that. We never did anything like that. Everything we did was very, very minor and just silly. Like one of the things was when you got a when you advanced in rank, they would at my base, we would in my office, I should say, they would grab you and put you outside on the patio and then hose you down with a hose. Just get you wet, nothing crazy. That was all. It was just like silly stuff. Julie says, well, we tried that when we were kids and failed. They all had 2 weeks each after the other. One later on, a month and a half without sleep for me. I could barely. walk, work. Oh, that sucks. How many, do you mind if I ask how many kids you have, Julie? And you don't have to tell me. This is public, remember, so you don't have to share anything you don't want to share. Don't, no obligations. You don't even have to say no. You can just ignore me. Anytime I ask a question, if you don't want to answer, just ignore it. Don't worry about it. I don't take anything personally around that. Like, this is online, this is public, technically, so by all means, no one should feel obligated in any way. 3 beautiful kids. That's a lot of work. I have 3 cats and that's a lot of work. I can't imagine 3 kids. And says, oh my gosh, shingles. I still have pain from mine, which was about 11 years ago. Oh no, that sucks. Is there a vaccine for shingles now? Should I get it? Is that something I should do? it, yeah, I need to look into that, apparently. Sounds awful. Julie says my baby is 15 and my oldest is 21. We all survived, and they are a lot of fun. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Julie says I had shingles. It hurts a lot. That sounds rough. I vaguely remember having the chicken pox, or maybe it was the mumps or measles. I don't know. One of those. I don't remember which one. I vaguely just remember having dots all over me and putting on that like cream or oatmeal stuff, whatever it is. I vaguely remember that as a child, but that's about it. I'm trying to think. The worst thing I had in my life is probably children's meningitis. That was like the worst disease or worst sickness I've ever had, probably. Julie says, I also had this viral kid sickness called uh, fifth disease a few years ago. It felt really silly calling my boss to tell him that. That's, yeah. Julie says, do you remember it? I can't imagine being your parents. And then Zan says, yes, shingle vax, every chance you get it. Um, I'll look into it. They haven't, I go like if they recommend it, I take it kind of thing. No one's recommended it yet, so I'll look into it. Do I remember meningitis? I don't remember much of it. Um, yeah. Um, my parents were not happy about it. Especially since the doctor originally misdiagnosed me, so that delayed my treatment by a couple days. They were not happy about that at all. That was a big deal. Um, yeah, but I'm okay now. So I do vaguely remember getting the spinal tap to check. They did that to like test for it. I vaguely remember that because they had like I don't know, something like five doctors and nurses holding me down to make sure I didn't move as they did the spinal tap. I was a child, I was like 4, so I don't remember anything very well, but yeah. Billy says, ouch. Yeah, the funny thing is, even with all those people holding me down, they messed up the spinal tap. Uh, they had they had like some fluid or some of this fluid leak or something like that, or I don't know what exactly. They messed it up slightly, and I was basically I couldn't stand up straight for like 2 weeks. I was like bent over because of it. So even with so many people holding me down, they fucked up. I I've had what's it called? Um, Injections in my spine as an adult. I had what's it called? Steroids injected in my because of a car accident. And that was very unpleasant. I will say that. So I can't imagine as a kid like how much that did not feel good. As an adult, I was struggling not to move. So who knows if it was their fault or my fault. But yeah, I can imagine as a kid flinching or something because, oh, that's unpleasant. That says the worst was when my son had a sore throat as a kid. He didn't complain much, but then got a fever and a rash all over his body. Turned out he had strep throat and turned into scarlet fever. I didn't. Okay, I'm familiar with strep throat, not familiar with scarlet fever. Uh, I have had strep throat so many damn times in my life. Oh my God. As a child, it was fucking ridiculous. I never had scarlet fever. Never heard of that. I mean, I've heard of it. I don't know what it is. So I have no reference points for it. I had ear tubes as a kid from all the like ear infections and throat infections I had. Ugh. When I talk about it, it sounds like I was a very sickly kid. I don't remember being a super sickly kid, but apparently I had some things occasionally. I don't get sick often anymore though. So there you go. Maybe I got it all out of my system, you know? Yeah, strep throat is no joke. Uh, or rather, sometimes. It can also be very mild, which is surprising. Dad says I used to be sick all the time as a kid, asthma, bronchitis, uh, flus, everything. Yeah. Now my only thing is allergies, which are, slowly killing me. But it's okay. I'm getting shots for them. I only have like 3 more years of shots until the allergies are gone. That's funny. That says, but not as an adult. I did have COVID at Christmas this year. That one knocked me on my ass, weakened me to this day. Yeah, well, COVID like is kind of a unique thing, unfortunately. And don't get me wrong, I'll get a cold or the flu occasionally. I have changed how I handle those things though drastically, and I think that has also been very effective. Um, I used to be the type of person who I'd get sick and push through it, especially because I've worked freelance a lot in my life, like a lot. And when you're a freelance worker, when you know, if you don't go to work, when you have a job, you don't get paid. There's no sick days, nothing. You just don't make money. Um, and that can be really difficult. But now when I get sick, if I think I'm actually sick and it's not just allergies, uh, I don't do that. I just I take as many sick days as I need, and I aggressively sleep. Like I force myself to sleep as much as I possibly can. And I get over being sick so much faster now than I ever did ever. Like ever. Like I'd get a cold and I'd drag it on for weeks because I'm pushing through and I'm working, I'm still working through it and all that. Not anymore. Now it's like 2 days of sleep and then it's just gone. So my attitude on that is completely changed. And it's made a huge difference overall, I think. I would say I think everyone should do that, but our bodies are all so different. I don't know what to tell you. When I was in my, I think, yeah, when I was in like my 20s at one point, I got a cold or a flu or something like that. So I took NyQuil, which is the common like over the counter thing here in America. And it's supposed to make you sleepy to help you sleep. And also it helps, with the symptoms, it clears you up. temporarily so you can get a good night's rest. That's the selling point, right? Uh, so I did that. Now I would always feel groggy the next day, right? Um, and you know, but that's whatever. You think it's because of this, it's trying to make you drowsy to sleep and so on. Then years after taking NyQuil, whenever I'm sick, 1 year I go to take it and I realize that for all these years that I've been taking it, I've been double dosing myself because I guess when I read the instructions one time I was sick and I messed up or didn't understand, for whatever reason. Who knows? Maybe I had a fever and I was out. I don't know. But I got the dosage wrong. And I just stuck with that dosage for years, not realizing I was taking double the amount that you're supposed to take. And I'm like, oh, no wonder I'm groggy every time. But then I took it the normal dose and it does not do anything to me. So I don't know if I built up a tolerance or what, but now it's like almost useless. uh, that says, I think it's got codeine in it too. It does not have codeine in it. So it can be addictive. Be careful with it. The over-the-counter version does not have codeine in it. There might be a prescription strength version, but not the over-the-counter one. And I am pretty sure I'm immune to being addicted to codeine, because codeine makes me so unbelievably nauseous and ill that I can't imagine taking it long enough to be addicted to it. My son was using NyQuil to try and sleep. He became reliant on it. That's not good. Yeah, they do sell a version of like NyQuil without any of the medication other than the sleep aid stuff. But yeah, you have to be careful with that stuff. I have such issues with sleep and sleep everything. Whatever. That's all my stuff. But yeah. No, I had surgery once and they gave me Tylenol with codeine. After two days or a day after the surgery, I was like, I switched over to just taking ibuprofen because I was like, I'd rather be in pain than be so nauseous and just sick from the codeine. So I don't. So I'm just unfortunately that stuff isn't good for me. Even the Tylenol one bothers me. Yeah, you hate Tylenol 3? Seriously hate it? Yeah, yeah. Nah, it just makes me sick. Like, it just makes me so sick. It's not worth taking. I'd rather be in, like I said, rather just be in pain. It's easier to be in pain than to like deal with the side effects of that stuff sometimes. But everyone's different. So I had some people contact me about buying my paintings. Um, And that sounds super exciting. And I keep telling them that my paintings are available on my website, which they are, by the way, FYI. Um, but they seem to want to contact me directly and interact, like send me messages and everything. And I suspect that these are all scams. I don't know because like it's all on Facebook, and I suspect that these are all scams. Not accusing anyone of it. I don't know for sure. We'll find out. I'll give it some time, but yeah, my suspicion is that they're scams. So anyone who is in a situation like me and gets contacted by people, just be a little cautious. Know that they might be trying to scam you. They're getting better at it though, if they are, because like I did a reverse image search for their profile picture and I couldn't find it anywhere. So they're getting better, you know. They're getting more sophisticated, unfortunately. If it is a scam. If it's not, then these are just people who aren't very I don't know, technologically, with it, or they just want to interact in person. I don't know. We'll find out. I wish I could get an agent to sell my paintings for me so I didn't have to deal with it. That'd be amazing. So, question to the audience. I'm going to this convention next week. I think I have everything I need. Obviously I'm taking clothes, chargers, normal stuff like that. I bought some gum and breath mints type of thing. I even bought um, caffeine tablets because I don't know that I'll be able to drink coffee as much as I normally do. Because I'm a very caffeinated person, and I didn't know that I'll have access to that. So I bought caffeine pills. Um, I always feel like I'm forgetting something though. Do you have that when you're like getting ready for a trip? You always feel like there's something you're missing and you can't think of it. If you're taking caffeine pills, make sure you know where the bathrooms are. Why? It does, as I always stress out when packing for a trip. Caffeine pills are, I know caffeine's a diuretic, but I don't think you understand how much caffeine I drink in a day under normal circumstances. I usually have 2 to 3 of these a day. I brew a fresh pot of coffee and I drink. It's a 14 cup uh, pot, and I drink at least half of it in a day. So I'm not worried. By the way, if my camera goes out of focus for any reason, please let me know. I'm I have it set to manual focus now, and yeah. All right, quick stretch on the floor for my back. I'm still here. Oh. Julie says ID, phone, cables, earplugs, Tylenol, socks, and undies, deodorant, and toothbrush, and scarf, tissue paper, small notebook, and pen, phone numbers written somewhere, and keys. Oh, phone numbers written somewhere. That's a great idea. I didn't think about that. Passwords for tech stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I have I have my special secret passwords. You know, the like pre-printed codes for those. Yeah. That's my list. I usually forget toothbrush because it's the last thing I use. So now I have one in my purse where I travel bag all the time. That's nice. Um, that's a good list. I think that's a great list. I'm not sure about the earplugs, but everything else seems really good. Uh, I have earbuds. Those will work for earplugs for me. Um, yeah, I think that's a great list. Earplugs for sleeping in a hotel. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Battery. Yes, I got that already. Already, made sure to find it and charge it too. Yep. I think I need travel size toothpaste. I don't think I have that. Gotta go pick that up. All right. Am I taking art supplies? I'm not taking art supplies there. I might be taking art supplies back with me though. Hairbrush and hair ties. Yes. Good point. Yeah, that's a very good list. Thank you. That's helpful. I took a screenshot of it, so I have it for later. Okay, I'm waiting for Julie's top secret hint. Hi, Winnie. Oh, hi, little girl. Oh, your timing is not always great, but I love you anyways. And everyone wants to see your pretty face. Yeah. Meow. I know. Oh, you're such a pretty girl. Oh, come on. I know. I know. You don't like being picked up that much and held. I know. But you're so pretty. Look at you. Oh, everyone should see this pretty face. Yeah. You're so fluffy. And you're such pretty blue eyes. Look, look, look. I guess maybe green, blue? Yeah, green. Okay. Okay. Go on. All right. Julie's top secret hint is a small travel kit, sewing kit. If you go anywhere for a few days, you were on a train to London in 1997 to go find somewhere to live for a year in uni there. Okay. And there's more to this story. So I get what you're saying about the sewing kit, but I'm curious because my issue is that I don't really know how to sew. So you notice a guy on the other side of the alley was frantically looking at his trouser suit. Okay. His suit trousers. All right. I take it he ripped them. He had a rip in his trouser suit, and you could see his leg. Yeah. See, that makes sense. Um, yeah, like I don't trust my sewing abilities, I'll be honest. I don't think I know how to sew well enough to do anything. He was livid. Turns out he was giving a conference. With the way things are nowadays, I just feel like I'd probably just, if something like that happened to me today, I'll just go to a store and buy a new pair of pants somewhere real quick and just do that. Don't get me wrong, a sewing kit would be faster if I thought I could actually properly sew it. And only under very certain circumstances, right? Because, like, it depends what the rip is like. If it's at a seam, yeah, but if it's somewhere else, no, you know. Julie says that day, and he didn't know how to sew, had nothing on him. He went to the bathroom in the train. Uh, he handed me his trousers. I sewed them and then gave them back to him. That's awfully sweet of you. That's really awesome of you. Was the rip had to be at the seam though, right? You can buy new ones. You know the conference place in England outside of the channel. The businessmen go there 2 hours and come back. The guy was thankful. He helped me find a place to rent in London afterwards. Ah, that's so cool. That's a great story. Oh, I get it. I totally get it. It depends. There's so many circumstances. There's so many like specifics that matter here. Yeah. But no, you're right. Being able to sew and having a sewing kit is, is better. Like it without a doubt is the smart and good thing to do. Yes, all along the leg. I think it was a new suit. Yeah, the it had to be the seam. Exact. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Poor guy would have married you on the spot. That's so funny. That says, imagine handing over your pants to a stranger on the train. Yeah. I mean, in today, the way things are today, but I don't know, I could see it. I could imagine it. I mean, honestly, you gotta think, like, okay, let's say you're on a train and you have a rip in your pants, right? And someone notices, they say they're willing to fix it for you, and they have a kit with them. Like, I know the thought is like, okay, but what if they run off with it or something? But like, really, in today, like, what are the chances, right? He was in his undies 5 minutes before the train arrived. Poor guy. Yeah. Also, this is probably like, well, I don't want to say TMI, but if I'm wearing boxers, I feel very different than if I was wearing like, you know, what would be considered like tidy whities or something, right? As a guy, I'm just saying, like, there's a huge difference between the two. Julie says, "Well, it got me contacts to find a place to rent. That's awesome. That's such a good story." Julie says, I don't know what he was wearing. Winky face. I didn't look. I was as red as he was. Imagine 20-year-old me being given a guy's trousers. That, yeah, I can't imagine. You know, yeah, absolutely. I could totally imagine being like just mortified and being so embarrassed. You, him, both of you, everyone. Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see it. I can picture that. Do you still live in London? Out of curiosity, and once again, you don't have to share, but I'm just curious. I've always wanted to visit, and I never have, or I haven't yet, I should say. But I'm looking forward to it one day. I've flown into a few countries. I've flown into a few different countries, and had layovers in the airports, but I've never been able to like step outside the airport in those countries. I really would love to. Just could not do it at the time. So we'll see. Hopefully one day, the next 10 years, I can do like a world trip and go to different countries and everything. I'd love to do that. That was 30 years ago. You live in the south of France now. Jeez. Both of those places sound amazing. Yeah, flying to Israel and back to America so many times in my life. I've had layovers all over the world, but I've never had a chance to leave the airport. One time I had a really long layover. I've always tried to like set it up so that I have long layovers to go, but it never works out for whatever reason. One time I had a really like it was like almost enough time, but it was also the middle of the night and like nothing was open at the time, so it just wasn't worth it. Julie says I'd move back to London anytime if I had the money. Yeah, I feel that. That's how I feel about LA. I know a lot of people don't like LA. Um, but yeah, I would move back to LA in a heartbeat if I had the money. Not, and I can make it in LA right now. Like I would, I'm working for a company in LA. So if I moved back there, they would appropriately, I would be part of the union and appropriately, get paid, but it would put me in a bad position moving forward, I think. Julie says, except for the politics, but then France is not that good either. So, you know, I have yet to find the place that I would like to live where the politics are like the politics and the attitude, the like, the people and everything like match up in a way that would work for me. I've yet to find that place. So, yeah, you know. I'll tell you this, Austin. Well, not Austin, Texas, so much as Texas in general. Definitely not in line with my personal politics on things, but what can you do? Now that you're putting it like that, I don't know either, Yeah. It's I don't know, that's a tough one. I will say this, I've heard that London um is not very like how can I put this? Um I've heard that if you're like not what's the word I'm looking for? Like the social hierarchy in London at a certain point is very, very fixed, and it's almost impossible to like, I don't want to say break in, but like they'll never truly accept you or something kind of like that. That's the um, impression I got from things I've seen. I don't know how true that is. I'm not, no experience, but yeah. Like maybe that's only at the like very, very like snobby rich. I don't know. Julie says, I kind of feel the same in France right now, but then something, then it's, then it's changed a lot over the years. It didn't used to be like that. Interesting. I guess that's probably everywhere because like I know that there's places in America that are very much like that. I just don't I don't I'm not I've never been a part of any of those kind of social groups, I guess, unless you count like snobby nerds about like comic book nerds, you know. They're a little like, "Oh, you didn't like comics before it was cool." There's a little bit of that, you know. I am not muted. Nothing on my side indicates I'm muted at least. Am I muted for everybody? For anybody else? Twitch failed. Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay, it looks like it's working now. All right. You think it was on your end? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it happens. No worries. Thank you for letting me know, though. I appreciate it. By the way, I'm just going to throw this out there, and if anyone here watching now or later is really, really into photography, uh, like vintage photography and stuff like that, let me know. I'd love to ask you some questions. I'm starting to get into that a little bit to see if I can make my own reference photos. And yeah, if you feel like talking about that, let me know. Put put a comment in the YouTube video, and yeah, just let me know. I have questions. If you feel like answering questions. If you don't, ignore me. Don't tell me. Keep your silence and your secrets. Streaming is weird sometimes because it's like I'm talking to imaginary people. And I don't mean you like right now in chat. I mean like I have to imagine that there's going to be someone watching this later. I have to like talk to a potential imaginary person who's going to come watch this later, but I don't know who that person is, you know, or anything about them. I don't even know what language they speak, so it's funny. It's very strange. Julie says, I'm good with photographs. Used to be uh, linked with my job, but not techniques. It's techniques you're looking for, right? I'll be honest, I don't know. I guess it's a combination. Um, I guess I think I want to be able to take photos that look um, like old vintage photos. Um, if I need special, I know there are like vintage lenses I can buy. Like, is that all I need? Do I need those at all? Can I just use my kit lens and get that? Like, I don't know. I can edit the hell out of photos, so I know I can do that, but it's not quite the same, right? Like editing photos after the fact. There's a organicness to like the real thing versus like edited photos, I think. I'm not going to shoot film. Okay, that's like a little too far. I'm not going back to film, but yeah. Julie says, "All right, I can't help then." Yeah, no worries. It's a very specific thing. Um, it's very much a like if this is kind of what you do and are into, then you know, then specifically yes. Otherwise, not so much. I get that. I can help find photographs' name, works, and so on, but that's all I know. I can help find photographers' names. Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you know any good like good photographers is not the right word, right? Like it's not specifically that I'm looking for. It's like a specific kind of look. You know what I mean? But yeah, absolutely. I was actually thinking I should start like searching for photographers on Instagram who do that type of work, and then I can see if they have any information about how they do that, and then also like message anybody I want, see if they're up for talking to me. There's this one like photographer who I think he died a long time ago at this point. He did like he was in like I don't want to say old vintage, but yeah, he is a crazy insane guy who did all these like crazy photographs, and most of them were crap. But he lived like a homeless person. He had like these he's had horrible cameras and lenses and stuff. But that's like the charm of his photos specifically. But I will say this, I didn't know much about him, so when I started looking into him a little more, he does come off kind of creepy and like a voyeur who takes photos of like women outside. Like I don't think he did anything like truly, like messed up, or maybe he did, I don't know, but like the photos are just of women outside in ways where it's like you have no expectation of privacy type of thing, but it still kind of feels icky, you know. So even though his photos are like really weird and the effects he gets are really cool, it still kind of feels icky. Was he the reporter photographer? No, no, he wasn't. Actually, I can get you the name. He was like an old Czech old guy from, I think he's from Czechoslovakia. Weird guy. Like literally he lived like a homeless person. Um that's the name of the guy. His photos are like all messed up and distorted, and like he built his own camera lenses and stuff out of like garbage, literally like stuff like that. I'm not saying I want to take photos like that. Definitely not the subject matter, not the way he did. Although, look, when you're outside, there's a degree of like, you're gonna, if someone takes photos of like the area, that's okay. I didn't know that street photography, in my mind, that's what street photography is. I didn't know that there are people who do street photography where they like harass the people, like go up and get in their face and take photos of them like that. That seems so messed up to me. Um, I will never do that to random people. I wouldn't, I would never. I will take photos of like random people walking around if I feel like if I feel appropriate. Um, but yeah, not, I will never do that type of thing where I'm like getting in their face to take a photo. That, I don't know. I don't know who thought that was okay. Yeah, any, unfortunately, any and every, uh, basically every like art form out there, if you look into the people who made the art, you'll always find some some really creepy, inappropriate people. Like not everybody. I'm not even going to say that, but you'll always find some. Just unfortunate seems to be part of the human condition that those people exist just in general. Luckily, I don't think I've ever really experienced anything personally like that. Of course, I'm not the uh, demographic that usually would, but yeah. Although I'm pretty sure there was this one teacher that I had, and I'm not going to give any specifications of anything else because this is, but he was married to his wife was, I don't know, a Asian. I don't know where she was from, if she was, I don't know what country she or was originally from, but and we had some Asian students, and it definitely felt like he really liked them a lot more than he liked me, and would talk to them and do all kinds of stuff with them, but he would not give me the time of day to help me with anything I ever needed. Julie says, "Ooh, I wasn't thinking about him. Beautiful pictures. I know the pictures are gorgeous. They're like all fucked up and great. I'd love to be able to do something kind of like that." Des says, "I can't remember the details now, but I once saw a story about a guy in Hollywood, LA, who was a writer or artist, poet or something. He was just living out in the hills, but he was very well known." Yeah, this guy, this photographer, he wasn't well known until like a certain, I don't know how many years before he died, but like it was like discovered later in life kind of thing. His photos are gorgeous. They're like I said, all messed up though, and that's the beauty of them. There's also this photographer. I can't remember her name. I know she did a series of photographs of like battlefields, like places from like the Civil War where like a lot of people died. That was like the thing about it. And the thing though is she developed it on like silver plate, on glass silver plate or whatever it's called. And so there are these like really eerie looking photos that are like really um you know, special looking. Really pretty stuff. I don't remember her name though. Julie was saying I was thinking of Ouija. I don't know Ouija, I'll be honest, but I'll have to look him up, or her, them, whoever they. I don't know. I'll have to look him up. There's some videos of the guy I shared on YouTube. It's worth looking at. He's such a weirdo. Um, yeah. Speaking of videos online, I've been watching Portrait Artist of the Year. Man, that show is it's so much fun, but it is so frustrating sometimes when they pick artists and you're like, no, you made the wrong choice. Uh, I don't want to like disparage anybody, but yeah, sometimes I'm just like, no, you guys are choosing wrong. But yeah, and it makes me look forward to coming back and doing another paint portrait artist of the year paint along. Um, yeah. Billy says Gerda Taro. She was Kappa's wife and did some unbelievably great work. I don't know. I'll have to look her up. Let me let me do that in a minute. This photographer, if I remember correctly, she also took like photos of her kids. Um, and I guess they were controversial for some people for some reason. Because I guess they were in like compromising, you know, this seemed, I think it's more that they published them rather than that they were really inappropriate photos. I think that was more the issue. But yeah. Because I mean, I have some photos of myself as a child that would, I wouldn't want to publish, but they're totally innocent and fine. Like, I think that's something that may have changed over the years culturally, but yeah. Wish list. Hey, uh, is that the UK portrait artist of the year, or is there a US version? No, it's the UK version. There is no American version. Luckily, unluckily. By the way, I did get your email. I'm sorry if I didn't respond. I think I didn't. I did get your email. I'm not going to get to your stuff until I get back from the Portrait Society. I've been really busy trying to hit deadlines and be prepared so I'm not, so that I'm good to go to my convention. So I apologize. I won't get to it until I get back. Just letting you know. Um, but I am looking forward to getting started on it once I do. Sorry if this is taking longer than ideal, but it's just the way it is sometimes. But yeah, no, there is no portrait artist of the year in America. Apparently, there's one in Canada. Uh, it's probably a good thing because um, if they made it in America, they would like ruin it, I think, honestly. Unless the same people made it and they like, you know, they really made sure not to ruin it. Oh, Canada has landscape artist of the year, not portrait artist of the year. Excuse me. My mistake. Thank you. Appreciate that. Des says, I wish we had portraits artist of the year too. Yeah. All right. Let's take a short break. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to look up these names that I'm getting. Which just says, whenever you are able to, it's not like I was going to get around to doing something with it. No worries. All right. Let's see. Yes, I think it was Sally Mann I was thinking of. I think so. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is it. Open image in new tab. Yeah. Copy image address. All right, here we go. Like, look at this thing. This is just like, this is such good. I mean, it's a landscape. It's not portraits, obviously, but like, oh my God, it's amazing. Um, Julie says she is, yes, she is great. Really nice person too. You saw her, not met her. Uh, she used to come where I live for the photography exhibition. Nice. Rishula says landscape artist doesn't seem to produce the same quality in my opinion. Um, Landscape artist of the year. I don't know. Maybe. I think you know what? I'll put it this way. I don't know that I'm a good judge of that because there are probably nuances to landscape uh, painting that I am incapable of seeing because I just don't know enough to recognize it. So it might feel that way. Like I can see it feeling that way to me too, but I don't know that I have the. Not sure that I can actually, comment on it because I know that there's like when I think about portrait painting and figurative painting, I know how much nuance goes into everything. And I don't think that I can see that same degree of nuance in landscape artist of the year kind of thing. And that might be my failing, not the artist failing. Or it's the artist failing. But I'm gonna assume it's not. But yeah, I was watching both portrait artists and landscape artists of the year. I was just watching whatever episodes I could find. And there's so many times where I'm just like, no, the judges, you have made the wrong decision. That is incorrect. You've picked the wrong person. Leah, I'm looking to I don't know how to pronounce that. Clavjid? Okay. Search. And Michael Hackman. Search. And you had one above. Let me see. Where was the one above? Uh, Gredo Taro. Search. All right. I will look into all of those. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate just a cursory look. These are really cool looking. Yeah. Very cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. So wish list, have you played any good games lately? You'd mentioned playing, getting into video games. I was curious what you've been playing lately. Julie says, I'm off. It's getting late. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Have a great stay at the conference. Oh, thank you so much, Julie, and have a great night. And I will see you when I get back. I will be posting, when I get back, when I'm gonna start streaming again. It'll be not next week, the following week. I just don't know what day I'm gonna start again. Also, I'm always available on the Discord if people have any need to contact me. You're always welcome to. But yeah, that's about it. Have a great night. Oh, pardon me for just a minute. I'm just gonna step aside. I'm not even gonna put the be right back because it's gonna be so quick. All right. Yeah, I wish two things I wish is A, I wish that we had Portrait Artist of the Year here. Even though I feel like the American version would be ruined. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe, there's a slight chance it wouldn't. I wish we had it here. And also, if that's not possible, I wish Sky Arts would just let me watch it in a convenient way. Why? Why do they make it so hard to watch their stupid show? Let's see. Wishlist says too much game playing. Water Tales at the moment, a turn-based game you picked up ages ago and didn't try it at the time. Interesting. I've never heard of that. I bought a game and I started it recently and then I stopped. And I do need to go back to it. I bought Armored Core 6 and I played like one level and then I stopped. I do need to go back to it though. Um, it's not normally my type of game, but FromSoft is so good, I'm gonna try giving it another shot. I got it on sale, of course. I waited for sales. But yeah, I do want to try it again. But I've been playing what's it called? Um, I've been playing Risk of Rain 2 lately. It's a third person like roguelike shooter. And I'll play it during the day and I'll like play a level and then pause and go do some work and then come back and play another level and then pause and then go back to work. And then it's just that each level takes roughly like somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes, roughly, usually. So I just do that to kind of give myself a little break here and there. My stepdad used to play what Age of Empires. I think that's what it's called. Uh, he played that for decades. He loved that game. He literally, I think, played that game for decades. You've heard good things about Risk of Rain 2, not tried it though. It's a fun game. If you like shooters, fast pace, roguelike, it's a good game. It's fast. There's a lot of like what's it called? A lot of things are left up to chance. So like each time you play, it's a little different. Uh, so you have good runs and you have bad runs, and it is what it is. Yeah, you can get it on sale sometimes for like 15 bucks with the expansion. What it is fun too, you can play with friends. It's yeah, I don't often get a chance to play with friends, but when I do it, I do enjoy it a lot of times. But there is a learning curve to it, unfortunately. That's the one thing I don't like about the game, is there's a bit of a learning curve. Not the mechanics of it. The mechanics of the game are pretty simple, but there's all this like weird like little nuances to it that I don't like have like a learning curve. So what I mean is like you start off with a character, and as you go through the levels, you randomly pick up items that make your character that give you all kinds of like bonuses or abilities or different things. But there's so many items that learning what they all do and how to use them all is annoying. That part, and then also they like lock a bunch of things behind like achievements. So in order to like get certain things, you have to like there are some characters you have to unlock. In order to unlock them, you have to do certain things, but some of those stuff isn't very clear or straightforward, or yeah, that part's frustrating. Luckily, like if you have someone to do it with, it's great. It helps a lot, makes it a lot easier. They can guide you and so on. So I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag, I think. But it is a fun game. So if you can get past that, I think it's a very fun game. And what's good about it is it's always like you just jump in and get started. There's not a lot of prep or anything, and you can just kind of like run through a game, and then, if you want to do it again, you can, or just let it, move on to something else. Welcome back, Des. Hey, Don Lee. Welcome. Don Lee is over in my Twitch chat right now. Don Lee is a streamer. He's a really good artist. Been streaming some 3D VR sculpting lately. But yeah, he streams a lot of really fun things. So Don Leo, uh, over on Twitch. How am I doing, Don Lee? I'm doing good. Yeah, this is going to be my last stream for a little over a week, actually. But I'm doing good. I saw your stream. I lurked a little in your last stream, just a little. I just couldn't stay. Unfortunately, I had stuff going on, so I wasn't able to. But yeah, taking some time off. No, I'm going to the Portrait Society convention in Atlanta, and I leave on Wednesday, but I'm not going to stream tomorrow because I have work deadlines that I need to make sure that I can hit because I'm taking so much time off. So I can't. I just have to make sure I get those deadlines, and then I have other things to prepare for the convention and so on. So yeah, I'm just not going to stream tomorrow. I leave Wednesday, and then I get back uh, the following Monday. Um, so yeah, Wishlist gotta be going. Have fun at the convention. Thanks so much, Wishlist. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. It's always good talking with you. Um, there's what are we going to do without him for a week or two? I'm taking a Luminous Landscape online course this week. I'll keep busy. Oh, that's great. That sounds fantastic, Des. I look forward to seeing what you you know to what you do and what your experience is with that. Yeah. So next week I won't. Next weekend I won't be streaming either. I come back on what date do I come back on? Now I have my calendar thing here somewhere. Yeah. I come back on the 29th. Um, but I won't stream on the 29th, and I probably so I don't know. I don't know exactly when I'll be streaming. It depends. It just depends on work. That says I got to give my sister some time to catch up to me in the portrait project. Haha, nice. You think you're stressing her out? Yeah, you know. No one said it has to be even numbered to each person, right? You're doing oils, you have to give them time to dry. Yeah, you do. But I mean, like I said, feel like that's a little overstated. I mean, this painting, for instance, was dry. What was it? I painted this. I started working on this. I mean, last time I streamed was Wednesday. It was dry today, before I started. So not that big of a deal. Um, but yeah, you've been really speeding through them. Um, Des says, I'm looking forward. I mean, Donley says, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the pieces that come out of your course. If you're able and want to share them to Des. This is to Des if I didn't say that. Yeah, same. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it. But yeah, I might actually, when I get back, I might actually switch over to my new schedule of trying to stream Tuesday and Thursday. Um, I might just try and jump straight into that, which means I'll either stream Tuesday or Thursday the week I get back. We'll see which one I can, pull off. But yeah, I think I'm switching my schedule up, my stream days, and give it a try, see how it goes. I'm nervous about it because I'm worried I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to cancel a bunch of streams because of work, but I don't know that for sure. So I'm going to give it a try and see how it works. I feel like Tuesdays and Thursdays would be better for viewers. Maybe I'm wrong, but that says so my sister has this glamped dome. It's a huge thing, an old wooden post she built all the stuff inside. They had to clear forest land, put in sewer electric heating. I was invited out yesterday to paint. I didn't understand that sentence at all. I didn't understand that at all. I have no idea what a glamped dome is. Donley is saying glamping equals glamorous camping. Okay. I don't know what glamorous camping is other than I'm assuming like not really roughing it is my assumption. That's like my assumption. If you look up glamping dome, you'll see it's huge. Okay. But the thing I did understand is that you left all your paints in her car yesterday. That sucks. You said you're going on a trip to buy stuff. Do you know what you're buying? Do you have a list of supplies you plan on buying? All right, let's clamping dome. Let's see what this is. Ah, interesting. Okay, that's cool looking. Oh, nice. Looks cool. It's 4 season, heated plumbing, huge king size bed. She built herself. I'll send you video she sent me. Oh, cool. Glamping dome looks like something you'd live in another planet. Yeah. It looks like a personalized version of like Biodome or something. Conley says a Tesla truck should come with one, or maybe that's what a Tesla truck's garage looks like. Tesla trucks come with a recall notice, is what they come with. That guy. It's so funny. Like he had this he had this reputation of being like, I mean, honestly, he had the reputation of being like fucking Tony Stark. And now he has the reputation of a fucking moron. I'm sorry, swearing a lot now. Um, but yeah, it's just crazy. It was one of those instances where like the less you knew about the person, the better. And now the more we know about him, the less good it is. Should have just kept silent, kept to himself, and kept his, reputation up. Donley says, on the bright side, your painting is coming out great. Subtle switch of topic. Yeah, all right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it so far. I think, Des got auto modded. Des, you might be able to say that as a woman, but Automod thinks you can't say that in chat. Yeah, Donley usually is the one who gets auto-modded all the time. Absolutely. Automods hate Donley for some reason. Especially YouTube. YouTube Automod hates Donley. You know what it is, Don Lee? I bet you like the founder of I bet you like the founder of what is it? Vimeo or not Vimeo? Yeah, the other like what's it called? The other video hosting site is probably named Don Lee or something. And so they just have it programmed into YouTube to be, to go after anybody named Don Lee. In my defense, YouTube chat kind of sucks. Yeah, that is true. Facebook chat is the worst, probably. People who stream on there, I can't. I mean, I don't know. I've literally never watched a stream on Facebook. I will say I've been getting some messages on Facebook lately, and I haven't been seeing them. Literally, I had to have someone tell me that there was a message for me because of, Facebook just sucking so bad. Uh, Either that or they're protecting me from scams. I'll find out soon. But yeah, not great. I'm so pissed at Facebook, by the way. I don't know. I don't think I talked about this on stream. Maybe I did. I can't remember. I'm so pissed at like Facebook slash Meta, whatever. Fucking frustrated with them. So frustrated with their bullshit. Um, yeah. They so you can I have my online store through Squarespace, which I don't like Squarespace. I'm angry at Squarespace because of their AI shit. But it was too much work for me to deal with moving my entire website, so I just stuck with Squarespace for now. Sorry, I hate to be that person, but yeah. Um, Sometimes there's just too much stuff to deal with. So I set up my shop through Squarespace, and I wanted to set it up so that I could post things that are for sale from my website to Facebook and Instagram. And you can do that. So I set it up. I went through all the hoops. It's a huge pain in the ass. And then I did all of that. And then when I go to Facebook to set it up, they want to handle all the sales through them. And I have to set up like a shop through them. And I was just like, oh my God, I did all this work just to find out after the fact that I have to do this and have to, like, they have to handle sales. They take care of the money. I'm like, no. So I just canceled it all afterwards. But I was so frustrated with that. And then there's some more stuff that was pissing me off too, but I'll get into that in a minute. Let's see. That says if someone sends you a message on Facebook or YouTube and mention another social media platform, then they auto delete the message. I don't know that that's true all the time, because I've seen people mention other platforms, so I'm not sure about that. And then I scheduled a bunch of posts for Instagram recently, and I get a message that there's a problem with my post, and then I go to click on it to see what the problem is, and then there's nothing there, and then it disappeared out of my drafts and out of my scheduled. So all the work I just put in, and I did put in hours for like scheduling posts for days, a lot of that is just gone. Why? No idea why. How can I fix it? No idea. I don't think I can. I'm very frustrated. Donley says, "Oh, you mentioned YouTube as well, Des. Sorry, I didn't read your comment." Oh, okay. There's a little ridge here, and it's from previous paint. So I'm just going to scrape down and smooth it out. Get that old paint off of there so I can get a smoother line right there. How was movie night, Donley? You don't have to mention what movie you're watching and stuff if you don't want to. That's fine. But how'd things go? I wanted to make it, but I could not. I know I say that all the time. It's true. I really do want to make it to all your movie nights. It's just, you know, I feel like I always have stuff to do. I'm always busy. So it's hard sometimes to like carve out the time. So one of the things I do sometimes, I'm going to talk about the painting a little while I wait for people to answer if they do. Um, I sometimes will like paint over the edges of where things need to be. So like you know, I'll paint into the toes more so they're actually smaller than they need to be. Um, and sometimes I do that planning to then go back in with like the correct color or correct value and push to the edges. Um, so it's something worth thinking about. You don't always need to paint all the time, exactly to the edge. You can paint past the edge and then paint back to it and so on. That foot's looking a little too red. Donley says, no worries, it'd be cool if there was a way to work around everyone's schedule, but such is life. I know, it's impossible. Also, cool movie, definitely recommend. Okay, I didn't see the first one. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't seen the first one. Um, yeah. But you think the second one is good as well? So it's worth seeing both, I assume? And yeah, no worries. No one should work around my schedule because of my schedule's like so bonkers all the time. Yeah, no one should consider my schedule for anything except for when watching me stream. Yeah, I definitely see both. Pretty sure there's another one on the way, maybe a trilogy. Yeah, I'm sure. I'll leave that foot for now. Get back to it in a little bit. Take a break. I tend to fixate on things, so it's good to take breaks from particular areas and come back to them. I know not everybody has that issue, but I definitely do. I wonder if fixating on certain areas is a very common trait for artists or not. I feel like it probably is, but I'm not sure. I'm so sorry you're having so many internet problems today, Des. I hate that stuff. That stuff drives me crazy. Anytime I have a technology issue, like don't get me wrong, I'll get frustrated with technology a lot. But the thing that drives me the most insane is when there's a technology issue for something that is like already works or worked recently in the past or is, simple or easy. You know, like I understand if I'm trying to do something complicated and I'm trying to figure out a program or whatever, these things can be really frustrating and it's, but it's like not the most common thing and you're working, whatever. That I get. Internet not working? my GPS or something not working, whatever, stuff like that drives me nuts. Donley says focusing on one spot too much is something I'm guilty of too. So I try to develop the image as a whole by jumping around. Absolutely. I think that's the way to do it. That says my daughter got a new laptop and she's trying to remove bloatware and set it up, and the internet keeps giving us trouble. That says it was happening before she started the task, so I know it's not her. All right. Does she is she knowledgeable about that stuff? Because if not, I can recommend some software to deal with that. Not sure what she's doing or using. Well, I mean, right, but if she's the type of person who knows about that stuff, or is she like, is she flying by the seat of her pants? Does she like know what she's doing? Has she done this before, or is it very much like I have no clue, but I'm figuring it out? Because I'm sure there's not one way of doing it, this stuff. But yeah, Donley, that's something I've heard a lot from teachers and people to develop the whole painting as a whole, not just one area at a time kind of thing. And that is a very common and time-tested strategy. What time is it? Oh my God, it's almost 5. All right. I'm going to be ending soon. Want to keep going, but I also have a lot of stuff to do. And I went longer than I was actually planning today. It's a good painting session. The painting's going good. I'm actually rested for a change, you know. Um, that's always nice. It's funny how good sleep is for you. But yeah, I'm it's weird. I've been streaming every day, not every day. Yeah, I wish. I've been streaming every week, 3 times a week for so long now. It's going to be really weird not streaming. I already feel weird about it. Like I said, I think it was last time, the streaming's been really I've really enjoyed it. And I know it's a parasocial thing to be like, you know, I, um, in a way, but like I said, I've gotten a lot out of it too. Like there have been times where I've been going through a rough time and whatever, and like stream has been good for that too. Like not only are the people in chat awesome and the people who like, it continues on through the Discord, all of that has been great. But also just having to be, like a presenter and talk to people, all that has been great as well. So it's a combination of all of it. It's been very good for me personally. Uh, and it's weird to think that I'm not going to be doing that this week or next week, rather. This coming week, whatever it is. Rinska says, "Good evening from the Netherlands." Hey, welcome. How you doing? I was just saying that I'm going to be taking a short break from streaming for about a week and a half. Um, I'm going to the Portrait Society convention, so I'm not going to be streaming for about a week and a half. How are you doing, Rinska? Is that the right pronunciation? Am I getting it wrong? I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. I probably am getting it wrong, but yeah. Stanley says, "Don't think you're getting off that easy, Leod. We're going to need you to do some IRL streaming from the convention." I don't know that I can, but I thought about it. I did think about it. It says, "Very well. How are you?" I'm doing good. I'm good. I did actually increase my I did change my phone plan so that I could theoretically do a stream from my from the convention, either like, you know, like a Instagram live or something like that, you know, something small like that, not like a painting stream. I won't have my paints with me, so I'm not going to be able to paint regardless. But yeah. But yeah, I did think about it. I would totally stream like the conference, like the talks and everything, but they will totally not let me do that. 1000% they won't do that. Because you can buy that. If you want to watch that, you can actually buy that to watch the convention live. Yeah. I don't know that I'd recommend it. I don't know that it's worth it, but you can if you want it. Dominique says, well, maybe you can take some pics or videos so we can experience it too. Absolutely. I do want to take a lot of photos. I actually am going to go look through my phone before I go and see if I need to make space to transfer, you know, videos and stuff off of my phone so that I have more space if I need it. I don't think I do, but I will look to see if I do need to do that. Francis says, I wish you a great time at the convention. Oh, thank you so much. Des says, cry, I paid the bill. Mm. Were you having internet connections because you hadn't paid your internet bill? Is that what I'm understanding? I feel like I'm missing, like I missed something in this convo. But yeah, thank you so much, Rinska. Like I said, I'll be gone for like a week and a half, and then when I come back, I am going to be changing my stream schedule a little. Still Sundays are going to be the same, but um, instead of Monday night and Wednesday night, I am going to be switching over to Tuesday and Thursday nights. I don't know if that's better for anybody in particular, but I feel like it might be better overall for people. It's hard to know, but I know a lot of people don't show up for the night streams that I do, so I figure mixing it up can't hurt. I get it. Night streams during the week are not the best, and it just depends on like where people are located. I do get that. It's just those are the hours that like I can kind of pull off during the week with work. Hopefully people start buying my paintings in droves and I can just stream whenever because I'll be able to do this full time. That would be great. If anybody here is like independently wealthy and didn't realize that that's what I wanted, by all means, you're welcome to make that happen. I would totally love that. Just, it's important to put things out there in case. You never know, right? You never know. Okay, audio is back. Good. Des. Des is having a day of internet issues. All right. I'm going to be calling it a day. I actually feel like I made a lot of progress on this painting today. I think it went really well. I wish I could keep going, but I need to take a break. Need to spend time with Michelle and take care of the cats and do all the stuff and get ready for the convention and so on. Anyways, all in all to say, thank you everyone who stopped by. Rinska, I am sorry that you stopped in right as I was getting ready to leave. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Des, I am so sorry for your tragedy of internet connection today. I will be gone for a week and a half, roughly. I will be back. Not sure when my stream back will be. Let's just say I will 99% be streaming on May 2nd. We'll just say stream on May 2nd, unless something comes up. Yes. That's it. Everyone, I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday and a great week and following weekend and so on. I will be posting about the convention as it goes on, probably on my Instagram, or my Instagram stories is probably where you'll get the most from it. And yeah, that's all I got. Have a good one, everybody.